Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today we're going to be talking once more about metamaterials. Now I've made around 14 videos about metamaterials and TRCH combined, but today we're going to be bringing new pieces of due diligence, technical analysis, what I think about this one, and some really interesting things happening on the institutional activity side. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So metamaterials, my last video is in the description below, but first let's take a quick look into some quick facts about this company, just to give you a bit of an overview before we get to the interesting parts. So in 2021, we all know that they closed a transaction with Torchlight to be the first metamaterial company listed on NASDAQ and changed their name to Metamaterials Incorporation. They also signed a 10-year lease for the expanded 6,000 to 8,000 square foot headquarter facility that includes now customer centers. Collaboration with Secure Chemical to improve performance and coverage of 5G and 6G communication network. Acquired assets from IP from Swiss lens manufacturer Interglass to develop AR Fusion augmented reality eyewear with support for integrated prescription lenses. In 2020, they completed an RTO and changed their name from Metamaterials Incorporation to Metamaterials, and I guess they did it backwards as well in 2021. And Metamaterials in 2020 secured an additional $5 million from BDC Capital, 15 new patents, and signed a definitive agreement for business combination with Torchlight Energy Resources in 2020. Now, there's one thing that they missed in 2021. They don't have any debt right now, and a good amount of cash. So I'll include that, but they haven't included that yet. In 2019, you can go back and take a look into some of the capitals, and it goes all the way back to 2011. So I'll just scroll slowly back so you can pause and read if you would like to. So now moving on towards news. So the latest news includes Meta completes UK-funded project toward developing non-invasive glucose sensing system. So this one here says that they have today announced the conclusion of a 27-month-long project to develop a non-invasive glucose sensing prototype, which combined radio wave and optical sensors to improve the accuracy in predicting glucose levels. Now, this one here, the project was supported with $1.25 million. With the collaborative effort in the UK, involved partners including Metamaterials, Medical Wireless Sensing, and the Imagination Factory Virtual Clinical Direct and Brunel Innovation Center. Now, a bit towards the SEC filings, here's where things gets interesting. Travis Michael James sold a bunch of shares around the $5, starting around 2,807 shares, around 5,244, around 89,000 shares at 4.958, around 98,000 shares at 5.099, and around 110,000 shares at 5.166. So I wanted to see, who is this Travis Michael James? And so I did some searching, and I found that Travis net worth is around $3.69 million, and he owns around 600,000 units of Torchlight. Now, there was a reverse split of around 2 to 1. I don't think that his shares were actually affected, but in terms of the total amount of shares, this comes really close to around a bit north of, or a bit shorter than 300,000 shares. So it really sounds that this person is liquidating almost all his shares. It's also recorded on here. You're able to see not the actual exact amount of shares, but we're able to find it from the 13G, knowing that it's almost 300,000 shares. So in the last 4 years, he sold zero amount of dollars worth of TRCH, but now with Metamaterials, he sold around 300,000 shares of Metamaterials. Now this person here is an independent director of the company. He's a certified public accountant, and since 2005, he has been managing the shareholder of FITCH, FITC, and Gravis in Sussex City, Iowa, which provides accounting and taxes, financial planning, consulting, and investment services. So it looks like this person just wanted to liquidate their shares and say goodbye to Metamaterials. I'm not exactly sure how many left shares he has, but it does look like he liquidated around 300,000 shares. We'll be able to see in the next few days, perhaps an update on the amount of shares he has in another filing, or perhaps it's going to show on my system. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about is this person, George Palikras. He is the CEO and the founder of Metamaterials Tech, and he's on Twitter. He tweets almost every other day. So right now on July 15th, he said, coming soon, thank you Ford, architect and engineers and Stantec, one of the world's top 3 global design firms, a sneak peek of Meta's 68,000 square feet nano fabrication and customer training center facility. And he also mentioned that they had around 1,000 plus people dial in today with 200 questions relating towards the organization itself, and all proceeds for financial literacy education, as you saw, and NIFI org. So another thing here, he was complaining about that the company was still listed on NASDAQ as energy and oil and gas, and I think within the same day they changed it to technology, semiconductor, and related devices. Now, some people were highlighting this one saying, oh, this was because of people were short selling, but I will go towards the short selling activity in a bit. Now, he also does mention different updates, some really almost random things that sometimes, for instance, by 2025, 5G technology will account for 45% of total mobile data, but I'm not exactly sure why this is relating towards the stock, other than some of the technology that they have that are saying about 5G repellent glasses or reflective glass mirrors or glasses or windows. You're able to see that in a presentation I did look over, I think 2 or 3 videos ago. Now, some of the short selling activity can be hinted by short interest. Now, I'll go back towards the short float itself. That's different. So the short interest itself is hovering anywhere between, I would say, 22% or 23% to 35%. So it seems that there is a good amount of short interest on the stock. Now, the short float, I'm not exactly sure how accurate this is, but it's currently reported around 43.79% on FinViz. Now, that would be really, really massive compared to even some stocks that were short squeezed that had 20 or 30% short interest or short float. And over here on the high shorted stocks, I don't find their name on here, even though the high seems to be Acromotive FUV on the NASDAQ website. And we can double check this one here on FinViz, and we're able to see that it is around 38, 33. So it does match very close to what you're seeing on this website. So I don't see MMAT, and it might have not actually been updated yet. But it could be something where the release of shares and everything in between in a combination is confusing the FinViz website. But if it is around 44%, then it could be a recipe for a short squeeze. Again, I'm not exactly sure how accurate this is, and it's my responsibility to highlight that for you. Before moving on, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button with the bell notification button on. Also, if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, and you can join our Discord in the description below. Totally free. We're not trying to upsell you on anything in there, and you can join in and join the trading floor where you can find a bunch of people with similar interest only to make money in the stock market. So now towards technical analysis. And today, just because I don't have, or my platform they usually use on Questrade IQ Edge doesn't have the pre-splits and everything in between, so I just wanted to show you how to do this technical analysis over TradingView in a very simplistic manner. So I'm not including moving averages, I'm including the most simplistic items you can find. So first off, the willing percent R. It's also known as the RSI, or something very similar to it is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. And what you get to see is this one is highly oversold. What does that mean? Well, take a look into this one here. It's below 80 on that level. Oversold means there's more people selling than buying. In an equilibrium situation, you can expect more buyers coming in, and usually that raises the stock price. And you get to see it's currently sitting at negative 98.14, which is very, very negative. Highly oversold. I think the more oversold would be around 100%, but you can get the point. Below 80, it's oversold. Now on the MACD, that is curving upwards a little. So you get to see that it could be actually seeing an accumulation. We see a bullish kicker here. It's currently around 370-ish, but you get to see that it is very much looking like it's accumulating. We're going to take a look into supports and resistances in a second. But the MACD is curving upwards, which looks to be a good thing, and it could be in for a positive reversal in the next couple of weeks or so. And that would be very bullish. Now, before moving on towards the Fibonacci retracements, I do want to highlight the recent activities of institutional buyers. Now, on the institutional buyers, you're starting to look at some things that are really interesting here. On the 14th of July, Nova Scotia Innovation Corp added around 4.4% of the entire company at around almost 12.5 million shares. So that's very bullish from Nova Scotia Innovation Core. Though Gradient Investments liquidated on the 12th, State Street Core actually added a 30% on the 9th. On the 8th, Genius Wealth Management liquidated their entire position. So you get to see that's the latest activities really coming in really bullish from Nova Scotia Innovation Core at 12.5 million shares. Now back into Fibonacci retracements, and the reason why I'm showing you this one is because high frequency traders use it. So the current resistance here is around the 720. Above there, 999, above there, 1224, 1449, 1770, and 2179. The only support level on the Fibonacci retracements is currently 269. But we can start taking a look into significant supports and resistances levels. So the current support is sitting at the 361 level. That's a very strong support. If it does break it, I think we're going to go to 330 and from there on around the 287. But I really don't think we're going to be breaking that 361. It seems to be a very critical support for the stock in terms of resistances. The current resistance seems to be around the 424, followed by 450 or 473, and then above there, 521, 584, a very strong one at 696, and then above there another strong one at 805, another strong one at 974, and then 1188 going to 1294, 1392, 1658, and up to the $20. Now comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, between an insider selling almost all their shares, around 300,000 shares, at almost a $5 level, and it being around $1.50 lower than that, followed by, well, some bullish news with metamaterials. Institutional buyers seems to be a bit more bullish on with the Nova Scotia Innovation Core adding around 12.5 million shares, but in it accumulating currently with that support at 361. But it seems that in general, a lot of people sold from where around, let's say, the $21. From $21 to 363, that's a massive drop. Now, for my opinion, I think that this one will probably start accumulating around the 361. And if the short flow is actually closer to around the higher 40s, a lot of people are going to be in trouble on the short side, and it can easily short squeeze. Let alone, even if that was not actually true, some people or some influencers will probably take that value and take it as a fact and share it to people, and then people will just buy in retail and really skyrocket the stock price. So that is a strong possibility. At the current time, it is really painful to see the losses that some people have endured, and I do think that at this point you're almost on the bottom down. So I don't really think it's going to go below the 361. I mean, you can have a stop limit around the 360s, but I think we might actually be for accumulation and a reversal from this point. If you have a higher risk tolerance, maybe the 280s level. But I really think below the 360s, we might be in trouble. But that is where I'm putting the stop limit if I was you, and that is my opinion. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.